getting towards the end, guys. I gotta pull out some tissues. It's been a good ride. I'm glad for you guys who have stuck through this series instead of saying, oh, it's getting too hard, or something, and giving up. You are the champions. You're the ninjas of the group. So be proud of yourself. I mean, we're almost done. So thanks again for watching and subscribing. Thumbs up. Definitely appreciate it. So let's get into today's tutorial. We're just going to create a quick new Boolean value where we're going to say mouse in. Okay? And this is going to be set to false to start out with. And then what we're going to do, so we're going to go down to our paint method, because again here we're setting our game over to be whatever the ball's game over method is returning. But we are going to go down to our paint method, and right at the very end what we're going to do is we're going to say if game over, and this is where we're going to paint our game over function that we did within the ball class. So jump over to the ball class's paint method and just cut out these lines of code here and delete that because we won't need that anymore. So let's go back to the starting point class, and here we're going to paste game over in white. But we're going to get a little bit more fancy, so we're going to create a new if statement, and we're going to say if mouse in, that variable we just set up, is true, else we are going to have it be white. So we can paste here as well, and we're going to change this color to red. So basically if our mouse is hovered over this game over screen, it's going to be a red text, and when it gets off the game over screen, it is going to be a white text. That's what this mouse in variable that we set up is going to do. Obviously it does nothing right now, and we should get a white screen because it's false. Whoa, what am I thinking? Alright, actually I'm sorry. We're going to copy this real quick because this is supposed to be the try again method within the try within this mouse thing. So we're going to say play again within this statement here, and this is what we're going to copy over. But again, we don't want it to be the same position as our game over, so we're just going to move it down or move it to the left a little bit. We'll say the 280, and then we'll say 340, and that's where that text is going to be positioned. Copy and paste that, and we are going to set this back to white. Alright, so we are good to go so far. We have everything set up for our mouse in variable except changing the mouse in variable itself. So what we need to do is we need to add a mouse listener to our game, and actually the motion of the mouse, like if our mouse makes any motion, we're going to listen for that, and if it does, then we're going to check where it's moving to, and if it's within that box, and if it is within that text, we're going to change that text color, or we're going to set our mouse in variable to be true, and then it's going to paint something red instead of white. So we're going to go up to our class. It's going to be the same way we added our key listener, except we're going to say mouse and then control space, and we're going to go to mouse motion listener, and then add the unimplemented methods. So we're just going to click that here and add unimplemented methods. Lastly, we have to add our listener to our applet, just like we did for our key listener here within the initialize method. So we're going to do that as well. Add mouse listener, and we're going to refer to the methods that we just implemented. So we're going to say this, and actually it's supposed to be mouse motion listener. Alright, so now our applet is listening for mouse events, and down here these are the methods that we have dragged and moved. So dragged would be if you click and hold and you're dragging something, makes sense. Move is just if move in or out of a text. So this is the one that we want to mess around with, the move. But first we kind of need to know how big our text is, and we're going to just draw a square around our text so we get kind of a rough estimate of where it is. So we're going to go into our game over. If the game over happens, we are going to try and draw text around this play again. So we're just going to say d.draw, or draw rectangle, which will just outline our rectangle. We have to give it an X position, a Y position, so let's try 280, and for the X, for the Y we're going to say 340, And for the width, let's try 120. And for the height, 40, something like that. So, and this is supposed to be G. So hopefully we get a rectangle when we quit, and that's kind of the parameters that we're looking for. Let me see here. Alright, so it's not perfect. As you can see, it looks like text draws from the bottom up, and you know, rectangles draw from, you know, the top corner down. So let's flip this. Rectangle, we're going to say, instead of the starting X position, the starting X position is actually pretty good. We probably want to make it a little bit longer, so we're going to say instead of 120, we're going to say about 180. And then for our Y positioning, we want to start at 340 minus about 40, it looks like, 300. And then we're going to have it a distance of 40 down. Alright, so it's not perfect, as you can see, but you guys can make the adjustments. We're going to stick with this, these parameters, and you know, for now. So again, this is just kind of our bounding box for our text, so you guys might want to leave a comment, mouse check, and we're just going to copy these 4 parameters so we know them. And then we're going to scroll down to the mouse moved method, and we're going to say if, and we get some information about the movement of the mouse, again E, so we're going to say e.getX, which is going to tell us the X position of where the mouse has moved or is moving, and then we're going to say if that is greater than, and I'm going to paste those there, so we're going to say if that is greater than 280, as you can see here, and less than, so we're going to say getX less than, and then we have a width of 180, so we're going to add add those up, 460. So all we're checking is if our mouse event, if it moved somewhere in between 280 pixels and 460 pixels. That's just for the X position. Now we have to gauge about the Y position as well, so we're going to set up a new if statement, and again just e.getY, and if that is greater than 320 and e.getY is less than 360, then we are going to set that mouse in variable to be true. So we're going to say mouse in is equal to true, and then again that will paint a different color for us within our paint method, so that's cool. But let's also set up another statement to make sure it turns back to white. Whoops. So I'm going to copy that or cut that by accident and then paste it. We're just going to change these variables, and instead of saying and, we're going to say or. So we're going to add some pipes. So those are straight lines above your return key. You have to hit shift and then add some pipes there, and that stands for or our X value is greater than. If it's not within the X values, then our mouse in is going to be false. Alright, so it looks pretty good, but actually just noticed we do have to check for the Y value, because if I move out but we're still within the X values that we set up, then it's still going to be red, right? Until we move outside of the X values. So let's just change that real quick. Alright, so we're just going to copy this line here, and we are going to paste it, and we're going to change these now to Y values. So now we're going to say if our, what is this, Y is less than 320 or our Y is greater than 360, again we're going to return a false for a mouse being in. So that should save it, and that should wrap up the tutorial. But this should get it going. Let's jump in here. And again, we have more of an action that just paints a different color. So that's kind of how mouse events work. In the next tutorial, we'll talk about clicking it and restarting our game. And have a good one, guys. Catch you later. Click subscribe or Jerome gets it.